Good evening, Ignite Dallas. How are you guys doing tonight? We're going to rock and roll tonight, and I'm going to talk to you all about, we can start the slides, surviving a day in the life of a cyborg professional. If you want to tweet this chat so I can find your tweets later, hashtag robots4life, and my Twitter handle is @Tiffany Monhollon. So I want to back up to the way I started this workday and how probably many of you guys started the day. I definitely believe in this marketing slogan, the best part of waking up is that caffeine in that cup. And that really gets me going as I start the workday. But when we look at what's happening in our professional world today, and we look at research that shows us that in our modern world, more and more of us, does this look like anybody waking up with Facebook and Twitter and email before we even ever get out of bed and reach for that coffee? And this addiction is really connecting us at our fingertips constantly to literally anything and everything that the world has kind of ever known. And we also have this ability to connect to anyone and everyone that we know right now. I can connect to all of you guys, and I can connect to lots of people from my past and probably people from my future that I've never met with yet. And this is really a concept, this is a superpower called ambient intimacy that cyborgs have. And it's this idea that I can transcend time and space and cross hundreds and thousands of miles to connect with people in my life, except for this guy. This is my brother Matthew. And he's really hard for me to connect with because he refuses to sign up for Facebook. And he refuses to check an email account because he's looking for a simpler way to be. And there's a lot of people in our world today who are kind of dealing with this struggle, this blurring between myself, this personal self who's standing before here talking to you guys tonight, and this second self, this entity, this avatar that's going on and interfacing with all of these other people. And so that kind of brings us to this challenge of what it means to be a cyborg professional. And you guys may not be familiar with that term. I actually made that up for our talk tonight. But it's rooted in a concept called cyborg anthropology, and some of you may have seen a TED Talk from a lady named Amber Case who talks about how now we really are sort of cyborgs. And what this means is, when we look at anthropology and the way that humans have always used tools to extend our abilities, the ancient hunter used a spear to extend his arm so he could bring home a better kill at the end of the day. We're doing that with the technology and the tools that we have at our disposal, at our fingertips, and we're taking our mind and our consciousness and we're connecting it to these other people so we can do more and evolve what it means to be human and how we're interacting with the world. And this, in turn, comes back and it kind of shapes who we are and informs our cultures and the way that we're connecting with each other. And me and probably many of you out here tonight wouldn't be in this room if it wasn't for this ability to connect and to interface. And we build an affinity to these tools, and we have this sort of love relationship with our external brain. Who has our external brain here with you tonight, right? We're tweeting, and we're connecting, and we're interfacing with this cyborg world. But there's a cost to all of this, to this benefit, to these great things that we can get, and information overload. I don't know if this looks like your computer desk. Mine's kind of like this. But there's this constant need to know more and to share more and to be a source and to be a resource. And that pressure doesn't really ever go away. You're facing it right now. You want to tweet this, and you want to be the first person to share that information. And in fact, when we go home from the workday and we're sitting in front of our televisions and we're trying to relax, 42% of us, according to a Deloitte survey, have that second screen and that computer and that connectivity and that work that's never going away. And so we face this challenge as cyborgs today. How do I embrace what it means to be human without becoming sort of scrambled? And so I'm going to share with you 5 challenges for the cyborg professional today to help us cope and to deal with this problem. And the first is to abandon the crowd. And I love Twitter and I love Facebook and I love these tools, but sometimes I need to step away and embrace this challenge so that I can find myself and create that self and who I want to become apart from the crowd. And the second is to get physical. This isn't a typo. I actually thought that it was earlier, but this is talking about not abandoning our digital tools, but we're going to use digital tools, old tools like pen and paper and books to help us get our work done and embrace other parts of our creative mind. And the next is really kind of counterintuitive, but it's to unplug, to recharge. And my cell phone's dying, and as a cyborg, I'm freaking out right now because I don't have the ability to interface. But in some ways, that can be refreshing, and that can be a really important challenge for us to embrace. And the next is to declare digital bankruptcy, and the delete key is kind of like my my least favorite key, but so many people are embracing this, and we're getting rid of email, and we're getting rid of digital files and clutter that we don't need so that we can walk into tomorrow knowing that those things are going to keep coming at us anyway. And the next is to know your limits and to embrace the power of the end. Because if I can look at my workday and say I did this, and I did this, and I did this, the end, that's how I can survive a day in the life, and I can look myself in the mirror and say, job well done. You guys, I'm Tiffany. Thank you so much. Have a great night.